Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Update on EUTV. I'm Kyer Warner.
And I'm Sarah Cummings. We'll look at all Evangel sports happenings, along with some regional and national action.
In just a while, we'll have a special guest on set to talk about Valor football.
And we'll announce this week's EUTV Player of the Week. You're watching Sports Update.
Got lots of interesting football to cover today. A lot of college teams, some underdogs came up and got a big win, this week.
A lot of close games, some upsets, and then for Evangel, we've got season openers for men's and women's basketball. So it'll be a great show, a lot of great games to cover here, so stick with us. Evangel women's basketball kicked off their season this weekend in Oklahoma. The Valor fell to Friends University on Friday with a score of 87-72. The next day, they looked to bounce back against Oklahoma Wesleyan. The Valor were up by 4 at the half and led for most of the second half, leading 63-54 at the end of the third. During the fourth quarter, Oklahoma Wesleyan got hot, shooting 75% from the floor. Staying hot to end the game, the Eagles would take the victory 84-79. Sophie Sparks of the Valor led the team with 25 points through 2 games. The Valor play again on Friday in the MACU Classic. Valor men's and women's cross country competed in the Heart of America Conference Championship on Saturday. Ethan Montgomery finished 11th with a time of 26 minutes and 36 seconds, qualifying him to the NAIA National Cross Country Championship later this month. Skylar Adams of the women's team placed 7th and was awarded first team all-conference. Adams also qualified for the NAIA Championship.
The Valor football team played hard but struggled against Benedictine last weekend. The Valor's defense held the Ravens to 7 points in the first 2 quarters and answered back in the third quarter with an 11-yard quarterback touchdown run from R.J. Wakely. But after a blocked punt that put the ball back on Valor's 1-yard line, the Ravens scored within 2 plays from there and took the game with the win, 31-7 over the Valor. In last Thursday night's home opener, the Valor was tested by Harris Stowe for the entirety of both halves. The Valor never trailed in their 70-53 win due to the efforts of players like Josh Pritchett and Garrett DeVault. Both players had steals in crucial moments of the game and were the leading scorers. Jace Coffey played well on defense with 2 steals and scored 11 points offensively. The Valor will look to be prepared for their next game coming very soon against a top 10 ranked team.
That's an awesome start for Evangel basketball, that men's team.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big win to start off your season like that, and now they're going into some tough competition.
Yeah, and then a tough loss for the Valor against Benedictine in football. They played hard in the first half. Their defense really came out. Keeping Benedictine to 7 points in the first half. Lots of teams haven't been doing that, but then that third quarter, they came out in special teams, and then offensively, they just couldn't get the ball in the end zone, and from there, it just kind of went downhill.
Definitely, yeah. That's just a tough game overall against a tough team.
It is. Coming up next, I'll be speaking with an Evangel football player to discuss Saturday's game and more.
And then later, we'll look at some overtime wins in college and NFL football. Stay with us.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for mental health and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back. I am here with Evangel football player Colin Cook. Thank you, Colin, for being here today.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank y'all for having me.
Of course. So, Colin, Evangel had a rough loss against Benedictine this last week. Can you kind of tell us your thoughts on the game and how that went?
Yeah, so we came out first half. We weren't getting things together. It was a good game until halftime. The score was 7-0 going into halftime and everything. And then we came back out, just couldn't get the offense going. Didn't do what we wanted to and what we should have been doing. And then things just started going our way from there. So
Yeah, I see that. So, so this is your first season as a starter.
Yeah.
So tell me, like, and honestly, lots of people would say you're our best O-lineman, if not one of our best. So, like, tell me, what was the work you put in to get there, and how long did it take? Like, what was the process?
I'd say just I was staying consistent and persistent in everything I was doing, especially over the summer. Like, being an offensive lineman is not easy. It comes with a lot of work. You gotta weight lift, get big and everything, and being in the trenches, you can get injured, and that's why I'm injured right now and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, I had to put in a lot of work. I mean, it just didn't come to me. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how do you feel you performed this season?
I'd say I had a pretty decent season, other than having a bunch of injuries and everything, which is unfortunate. But other than that, I feel like I had a pretty good season overall.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So, talking on this season overall, like offense, defense, special teams included, how would you compare this season to the season of 2021?
Definitely a lot better.
Yeah.
I would say since we got a new offensive coordinator, Coach Flo, he was able to put some things together that we were able to get clicking more than last year. Mm-hmm. And our defense really stepped up this year too. It's just we didn't get to where we wanted to be on offense completely. But I feel like we just keep working at it. We're going to have a good team.
Yeah. And are there any players that stood out to you who performed just exceptionally well or anything?
Most definitely. Michael Murray, Dylan Hester, wide receiver, R.J. Wakely, quarterback. I mean, he stepped up and everything. And then just our O-line overall. And then we had a bunch of key defensive players this year too, like Will Anawai and just some of our safeties and everything.
Yeah. So, and then besides from winning games and just being a part of this team, like, what do you take away from being a part of Evangel football?
I would say just being around like all my brothers and everything, especially ever since I came in during COVID. It was kind of rough getting used to everything at first and then having to adapt to COVID and quarantine and everything. But other than just being on the team and everything, it's definitely all the special connections and bonds that I just love being around all the time.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's very important, especially in the team dynamic for football too. So, and I like your shirt, your EU football shirt, Code Maroon.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about Code Maroon?
Yeah, so it's our motto that we use and everything. It's just play hard, play fast, and finish and everything. So that's just our motto. That's what Coach Epp wants us to go by. So
That's awesome. So, Colin, you guys have an upcoming game against CMU. So tell us your thoughts about that game and what are you guys thinking going into that?
okay, yeah. So yeah, we go up to Central Methodist to play them and everything. They have a really good defense. I would say it's one of the better defenses that we're going to be playing this season, and it's our last game. So we would definitely have to go out there and get the win and everything. Especially we'd be having a three-way tie for the conference if Mid-Am beats Benedictine next week. So we really need to get that game going.
All right. Thank you for being with us today, Colin. Best of luck in your upcoming game this weekend.
Appreciate it, man.
Coming up next, we'll look at some of the college games and NFL action from the weekend. Stay tuned.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
What a disaster.
You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
In college football, the #1 ranked Tennessee traveled to face #3 Georgia on the road. Georgia took the lead in the first quarter and never looked back. With the 27-13 win, the Georgia Bulldogs come out of this game with a 9-0 record on the season and hand Tennessee their first loss of the season. Bulldogs quarterback Stetson Bennett threw for 2 touchdowns and 257 yards, along with tacking on a rushing TD as well. Wide receiver Ladd McConkey put up an impressive performance as well with 94 yards and a touchdown receiving.
The first-year LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels showed up to play against the 6th-ranked Alabama last Saturday and put on a stunning performance all 4 quarters. He went 22 for 32 with 182 yards and a touchdown through the air, but he really impressed on the ground with 2 touchdowns and 95 rushing yards. Bama's defense showed up and forced the game into overtime, where they scored first. But once LSU got a chance on offense, they scored in one play with their star QB on one of his rushing touchdowns. And head coach made a very bold call and went for 2 to end the game, and they got it. LSU took the win 32-31. The Titans traveled to Arrowhead Stadium to play against the Chiefs on Sunday and suffered an overtime loss against them 20-17. Patrick Mahomes went 43 for 68 with 446 yards and a touchdown and 1 interception. Titans running back Derrick Henry ran for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Chiefs were able to get away with the win after their defense forced a final 3-and-out against Malik Willis and the Titans offense.
Game 6 of the World Series was on Saturday. The Astros hosted the Phillies in a must-win game for Philadelphia. The game remained scoreless until the 6th inning when Philadelphia got on the board first with a solo home run from Kyle Schwarber. The Astros answered by putting up 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th. There would be no more scoring after that, and the game ended with a flyout from Nick Castellanos, and the Astros became World Series champions to win the franchise's 2nd ever World Series title. Astros rookie shortstop Jeremy Pena was awarded World Series MVP. Pena batted .400, going 10 for 25 in the series. Wow, we've got a World Series champion in Major League Baseball with the Astros.
That's crazy. That
winning.
is amazing.
Yeah,
and
they won in 2017, and now they're back winning again. And then some great football action as well.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a quarterback performance from a college QB like Jaden Daniels in a long time. I mean, he really stunned everyone with his running performance and then just through the air and then taking it to overtime and scoring on your first play. That's a big deal, and not a lot of people can do that, and it really showed.
Yeah.
I think they deserve that win over
That's
Bama.
so impressive. And you have Georgia upsetting Tennessee. Tennessee no longer perfect. Both of those teams went in 8-0. And now you come up, and Georgia's got that upset. They really, they took the lead in the first quarter, and I mean, it felt like Tennessee never had a shot in that game with the way that Georgia was playing.
Yeah, it was lights out. Amazing.
Next up, we will be announcing the EUTV Player of the Week.
We'll also tell you about Evangel's upcoming games, so don't go away.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
It's time now for the EUTV Sports Player of the Week.
This week's EUTV Sports Player of the Week is Josh Pritchett of the men's basketball team. Pritchett is a senior guard from Rolla, Missouri. In his production, he recorded 15 points, 2 steals, and a block in his 31 minutes of play. Also impressed fans with a dunk in the last 5 minutes of the game. Congratulations to Josh Pritchett.
Wow, that was amazing. His gameplay in those 31 minutes he got, I mean, he had an amazing dunk. He was the lead scorer. I mean, the basketball team's going to need that this season.
Yeah, men's basketball came out hot and Josh led the way. So that was a great performance by him.
And now, let's go to the upcoming games of the week. The Valor football team will have their last regular season game Saturday, November 12th at 1 p.m. against Central Methodist in Fayette, Missouri.
Men's and women's basketball are playing this upcoming weekend. On Friday, the women play at 7 in the MACU tournament, and the men are in Oklahoma as well.
Go Evangel Valor.
Awesome. The men look to stay hot, and the women are hoping to get their first win and down in Oklahoma. So should be a good week, some good games to watch with the football game as well.
Yeah, and the football team is still hoping to get that conference ring. They still have a chance to tie it 3 ways with Mid-Am and Benedictine.
Yeah, a lot of eyes on this weekend to see what happens regarding football's postseason.
Yeah.
So, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again next week. I'm Sarah Cummings.
For more information on Evangel Sports, go to www.evangelathletics.com. I'm Kyer Warner, and this has been Sports Update on EUTV.